Gold is produced in association with KCET Los Angeles and is seen statewide on California Public Television. This series is endorsed by the California Teachers Association, the California School Boards Association, and the California Library Association. They're some of the most beautiful and awe-inspiring photographs ever taken. They not only capture the spectacular natural beauty of the American West, but they give us a sense of place, of scale. These photographs are bigger than life and were taken by Ansel Adams, who over the years became a true American icon. He was passionate about his life's work and felt most at home in Yosemite National Park. His photographs of Yosemite are themselves iconic. In fact, Ansel Adams' Yosemite landscape photographs are some of the most recognizable in the world. But on this adventure, we've come in search of some Ansel Adams photographs that are not very well known. In fact, they are very obscure. Very few people even know they exist. They have literally fallen through the cracks of time. Now, to see these photographs for ourselves, we've come here to downtown Los Angeles to the central branch of the Los Angeles Public Library. That's where these wonderful photographs are housed. These Ansel Adams photographs taken almost 70 years ago. Photographs that are still very much a part of California's gold. Well, the adventure begins. We have finally reached our destination, and here to greet us is my friend Carolyn Kozo-Cole. Carolyn, I've never known exactly what your official title was here at the library.
I'm senior librarian in charge of historical photographs.
Historical photographs, because you know why we're here. We're here in search of the lost, the hidden, the forgotten, the kind of offbeat photographs taken by Ansel Adams. Are those photographs here in your library?
They are. And they've been here since 1960-something, I think.
All right. Now, we actually know how long they've been here because you pulled out these letters, and these letters themselves are historic. Here's a letter from Ansel Adams, signed by Ansel Adams, to the librarian of the Los Angeles Public Library, basically saying, a number of years ago, I think it was around 1939, I did a series of photographs for Fortune magazine of Los Angeles. And when he moved to Carmel, he says, I had the occasion to enjoy a thorough review of my files, and I discovered the pictures which are enclosed. And then he goes on, basically, to offer all of these photographs to the Los Angeles Public Library and says that you can have them if you want them. If you decide they have no value whatsoever, please dispose of them in the incinerator. So he wasn't very excited about these photographs, was he?
He was not a Los Angeles person, obviously. He was San Francisco, so it was not his favorites.
This was probably not his favorite bunch of photographs that he had taken. And he actually even says here that he remembers that the weather was really bad the whole time he was down here. So I don't think he had a very good time on this particular assignment.
I think you're right.
All right, but in response to that letter, Mary Helen Peterson, who was the department librarian of the history department here at the library, wrote him back and said, we're delighted to have the collection of your photographs. Even though you say they are not your best work, they present an interesting and useful study of the Los Angeles area in the late 1930s. After all, Mr. Adams, it would hardly be possible to have all of your work equal your magnificent and breathtaking studies of the Sierras. So Mary Helen Peterson was a very diplomatic and complimentary librarian, wasn't she?
We all are, though. No, she was great. She was great, and I'm so glad that she recognized the value, because some people may look at the photographs and not think that they're that special, and of course we think they're fabulous.
Now it gets exciting, because here's the box right here labeled Ansel Adams Photos. We're opening them up, and we are opening them up with Jonathan Spaulding from the Autry Museum. Jonathan, you're not only the executive director of the museum, but you are connected very strongly with Ansel Adams.
That's right, Huell. I wrote a biography of Ansel a few years back, and I love any time I can find some of his work that I haven't seen before.
You're excited.
This is great. This is, yeah, candy shop
Because
time.
you've seen some of these, but not most of them.
That's right. Ansel's published a few of these, but by and large, these are very much unknown.
And we're talking about hundreds of photos here, because they arrived here at the museum in this little folder here, these tiny little photographs, and I think the negatives came along with them. But these are very small. Why are they so small?
Well, Ansel was shooting documentary style with a 2 1/4 camera, which was a roll film camera that he used to travel light and be able to work quickly. He was on assignment, and he wanted to be able to move through the city, so he uses this light camera. He's not known, he's known for the big 8x10, but he did documentary style photography, and this is an example of that.
All right, so he was here on assignment for Fortune magazine, and let's take a look. Let's just pull one out and take a look. Here's one of a young couple at their front doorstep kissing each other. It looks like one of them's going off to work.
That's right. Ansel was here to document the changes in Los Angeles as the city became an aircraft manufacturing hub in the late 30s, early 40s. And so he was photographing the life of the workers going off to the factory, and that's them heading off in the morning.
Do you think that was a staged photograph?
Well, it probably was, because it turns out the people in the picture are Cole Weston and his first wife, and Cole was the son of Edward Weston, and they were great friends of Ansel. So I'm sure he used them so he could have a compliant models.
Do you think they were actually working at an aircraft factory?
Yeah. Cole was working then. Like a lot of people, he was thrilled to have a job. He'd spent much of the 30s scraping by. His dad was internationally known, but not well paid. So,
as most photographers.
Yeah. So he, like a lot of people, was thrilled that the factories were hiring.
So a lot of these photographs deal with the aerospace industry, or the aircraft industry, I guess it was called back then. You've got factory workers coming in and out of the gates. You've got parking lots. You've got all kinds of pictures like that on the surface don't look that compelling, but they were telling a story.
Yeah, the story they were telling was the incredible changes in Los Angeles as the city became the aircraft manufacturing hub for the whole West Coast. They were building for both the Atlantic and Pacific Theater, and Lockheed, where he did a lot of photography, was growing, leaps and bounds. So he has photographs of parking lots, not because they're compelling subjects, but to show that the city was outgrowing its infrastructure. The magazine article was about how Los Angeles is coping with this change.
Building